Good evening, everyone. So I will be covering today the topic of license-free web automation. And like in today's world, there is lots of buzz going around robotics or robotics process automation. So let's understand that what is this robotics process automation and why web automation is so important concept of like one of the concepts of robotics process automation, and also like with web automation what we can do and what we can achieve, what are the benefits, and like even like with the script based license free web automation, what are the benefits that like we will see in the like some hands on coding. So let me share my screen. So let's see like what we can understand from this topic. Okay, so the topic is license free web automation, and our agenda for today is what is RPA and different market players of RPA, what is web automation, web scrapping versus web automation. So we will understand what is web scrapping and what is web automation and why it is important both in RPA and data analytics. Simple script-based web automation using Python plus Selenium. So we will see some coding in this, like how it works. Multi-browser automation using multi-threading technique with Selenium. So actually Python has that feature. It supports multi-threading. So Selenium is one of the library of Python. Selenium can be integrated with the other programming languages as well. Even it can be integrated with JavaScript. So we will be using the Selenium library here to do the web automation, and we will use the multi-threading techniques of Python to see like how we can launch multiple browsers simultaneously. Simple web automation using VBA plus Selenium. So this is a bonus topic which I have incorporated. So it's incorporated in this session. So we will see like how we can incorporate Selenium library with VBA code as well. Okay. And lastly, we will take the question answer round. So I will ask you like if you have any doubts, you can share your doubts with me. Okay, so before going into the session, this is a brief about myself. So I am having 16 years of industry experience, and I have worked in plethora of technologies. Like I have started my career as a software developer, and then with like with time, I have rose the ladder, and now I am leading like some of the teams in Accenture. I am also leading like the Innovation Center of Excellence, Automation and Innovation Center of Excellence. I have, like the experience in RPA, like over a, like almost over a, can say like half a decade, and also in AI, ML, so cognitive intelligence, cognitive automation, then robotics process automation, and you can say like a subset of digital transformation. So, and also I am also working as a industry tech force, like mentoring industry tech force as a speaker, mentor, and a guest lecturer. I am doing a doctoral research on risk management, like researching on building a risk management model for sustainable smart cities, which is enabled by AI, IoT, and blockchain. And a couple of my white papers are being acclaimed and recognized both in Accenture and in our conference, international conference of business and security. My hobbies include I like traveling, I like trekking, I like off-road biking. In 2016, I have gone, like I have visited solo to Ladakh, like from Delhi to Ladakh and back to Srinagar. And I have traveled in my bike, like alone. So it was a great experience, and like some of the hardships, though I have, like crossed through, but it was a great experience. Okay, so this is all about me. So going forward, let's dive into our topic today. Now, lots of, like buzz is going around robotics process automation. Now, what is this robotics process automation? Let's understand from the official definition of it. Okay. So robotics process automation mimics the action of user at user interface level. Okay. So developers actually need not to know about the interacting systems. They will just they will like whatever like the whatever the developer need not to know about the interactive systems means the underlying systems, like in what the system is developed, like whether it is developed in Java, whether it is developed in .NET, whether it is developed in Python. You need not to know that. It is basically the bot will be mimic the human interaction with the web forms or the website, and it will just at the user interface level only. It will be at the user interface level. So these kind of softwares are actually enabled by the power of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and it automates high volume repetitive mundane tasks without human intervention. Okay. So in RPA, we create bots, also known as digital workers. So these bots are also referred to as digital colleagues, and it mimics human action. So that is what I said before. Okay. Now some of the market players which are there in RPA in current days, we have UiPath, we have Automation Anywhere, we have Blue Prism, we have Work Fusion, and some other tools like Pega. Pega is there, and Kofax, and another like Avian, or I don't remember the name now. So some other market players are there. But if you see what is the commonality of all these market players, they are actually licensed, because you cannot go license free, and like you cannot use this like any of this tool without any license. So license, when I talk about license, it means it is incurring a cost. So, and sometimes what happens is like in my industry experience, I have seen that the bots are built in Blue Prism, and then they are again migrated to Automation Anywhere, because Automation Anywhere license cost is low. So again, it like involves redevelopment, like rebuilding, and then again like the migration cost as well. So, and also there is a like support team who will be support 24/7 the RPA servers. So this cost will be there, like when you are going with these tools. Now, like for data analytics, or even like for even for a large scale automation, what we have seen is we can actually go script based. Instead of using this license tool, we can go script based. Like we can use Python, and Python has some like extensive, comprehensive, like available libraries, like which you can use to leverage anything, actually to do anything. So let's dive into that. So web automation. So web automation is actually one of the most, or you can say like it is the characteristic, one of the characteristic of the RPA, because in most of the processes we need to do web automation, because we need to interact with the websites, we need to interact with the forms, we need to interact with different like legacy systems, wherein we need to fetch data for our purpose, like for building a report, or for for building interactive dashboards, and like even for like data entry operations. So it is one of the like important feature of RPA. Now, when I talk about data, so if I say that if you talk about any recipe, actually, so data is the main ingredient, right? So nowadays data is very it is the most important thing our industry can have, and everyone is seeking for data, even for like doing the sentiment analysis, we sometimes perhaps tweet to Twitter data, Facebook data, to understand that how the messages are coming, or what is the like the intent of those messages, right? So lots of work actually happening in those areas, where we build AI ML model on like fetching those data. So that is about data. So going to the web automation. So now what is web automation? So as I said, like when we need to fetch data from a website, or when we need to post data in a website, so that is actually web automation. Okay, so web automation, if we go by the official definition of web automation, it is a concept of letting software robots perform predefined action, tasks, and processes on a web browser or web application. Okay, so suppose, for example, like like generating an invoice, sales invoice. Okay, so we need to give some invoice number or the customer number, and then we generate the receipt of that customer, whatever he or she has bought. So here we are actually interacting with the website, or any web platform or web form, and we are generating the report. So this kind of task, okay, so as I already said, the tasks are essentially repetitive, mundane, and does not require any decision making ability. Now what does it mean that it does not require any decision making ability? That means it does not require any human intervention, like I have to think on this process, I have to validate this process, because bot doesn't have that ability. It can only mimic the task. Like if I'm going to the website, I am logging into the system, I am giving my credentials, like I am entering my username, I am entering my password, I am clicking the enter button. So what is happening is that bot can understand that what are the tasks I am doing going to the website. So it can mimic those tasks. But suppose going to a website, I generate a report, and on that report, I am doing some analysis. I am understanding data. I am doing some analysis, and I am understanding that on this, like there are some conditions where I need to validate something, or I need to take some necessary actions. So on those conditions, what happens is there's some human intervention is required. So there is some human decision making ability is required. So those things, like for those purposes, RPA is not applicable. So RPA is applicable when you are mimicking any repetitive mundane task which a human does going to the website. Okay, so that is like what we can do in the web automation. Okay, now some examples can be like travel claims, purchase invoices, current payments. Like if you want to, like generate these reports, reconciliation of accounts like bank accounts, ledgers, etc. So these are all like real-time industry, like industry examples. Accounting periods and other entries. So when you are doing some entries into the ledger system, then payroll calculation. So this is also one of the important work process actually, where we need to calculate the payroll. So that is also one of the important thing. Okay, then updating variables affecting statutory wages. So these are some of the like common examples or processes which where we need to interact with a website, we need to enter data, or either we need to page data. So yeah, so one and another example is data extraction of the MIS report and dashboard. So these I have already mentioned. Okay, now let's understand that what is web scraping and what is web automation, and what is the difference, like when we will use web scraping and when we will use web automation. Okay, so essentially there are many web scraping techniques and tools available. Even Python has some good libraries to do web scraping. Okay, so web scraping refers to the extraction of data from a website. Okay, so when we only fetch the data from a website, and this information is collected and then exported in a format of a report or in the spreadsheet. Okay, so this is essentially web scraping means. When we are going to the website, we are extracting or we are scrapping the data out of it. Okay, so this is essentially the web scraping means. Now, not necessarily means that we need a RPA tool to do web scraping, because there are lots of like tools available already. There are lots of libraries available already. We can use scripting languages to do web scraping. Now, web automation. Web automation is an interaction with the website, but it is associated with both fetching and posting of data. So here we are not only fetching the data, we need to, like, we are doing some data entry as well, right? So that is the basic difference between web scraping and web automation. Like where we are talking with the website, basically, it is not a one-way thing that we are going to the site and we are fetching the data. Here we are doing the both. We are fetching the data as well as we are posting the data. So this is a basic difference. Now, if you see like this topic or this like this concept is very important in today's like RPA scenario. Because if I have actually taken a report like how the like market is going, and the predicted market share for RPA by 2024 will be 3.5 billion. So it is quite high. So from there, we understand that why we need to understand this topic in detail. And because it is one of the most important feature of any like robotics process automation. So we need to understand this topic in detail. And also web automation, like from my experience, I can say that it is one of the most crucial thing where people face most difficulties, because because website doesn't react, or in like doesn't the outcome is not as expected, because sometimes the website gets slow, sometimes it is fast. So there will be always like problem in giving optimum delay to the bot. Maybe bot has run and executed the next line of code, but the website has not loaded at all. Even giving the optimum delay, there is a problem. Like lots of times people faces where like where the bot cannot like access the controls, or the website has been very slow, the bot has executed and gone to the next line of code and it is not getting the required control. So all these problems will be there. Lot many times we have seen in our, like in my industry experience, I have seen that it is a most painful area, like where we face in the robotics process automation. Because if you see like if like like automating Excel, automating SAP, or automating other like other dashboard or the desktop application are still easier than the web automation, because website has its own loading time. Then like sometimes the website fails, it doesn't load at all, so it is a very painful area and it is an important area. Okay, so going forward, so here I have like taken some hands-on coding for to show like how we can do simple web automation using Python. And here I am using Selenium library and a Chrome driver. So Chrome driver, I think, is is installed in everyone's system. So generally we are using Chrome or Edge, but Selenium is compatible with mostly all kinds of drivers like Edge, Chrome, or Mozilla Firefox. So any kind of driver you can take. Okay, so going forward, okay, so here are some requisites. So I need Python, like we should have Python installed in our system to run this code. Then we should have Selenium library. I will tell you how to install Selenium library. It is very simple. Those who are already working on Python, they know like how to install an external library. And another installer we need is Chrome driver auto installer. So for like with this library, actually we don't have to give the explicitly we don't have to give the path of the Chrome driver, like where it is situated in our machine. So it actually automatically handles that. Okay, so let me just go to the code. Okay, so this is a Visual Studio code. The ones who doesn't have like the introduction of Visual Studio and Python. So this is a Visual Studio code, and this you can like this you need to install. This is a very lightweight tool or IDE where we generally write the Python coding. But there is other IDEs also available, so you can use that as well. I am using Visual Studio, so I have opened that. And here I have created a folder, so where I have taken some of the code. So with the interest of time, I have already kept some code to show in the demonstration. So let me just open. So here, okay. So now for Selenium, so Python is already installed in the system. You can go and install Python. Python is like open source software, and it is like not, it is free. So you don't need any cost for to install Python. Then for installing Selenium, you can use this command, pip install Selenium. So for installing any driver, actually, we use this command. Since now Selenium is already installed in my system, so I am not running this, but you can just use this command and put enter. So it will actually install the Selenium in your system. So likewise, you can install Chrome driver auto installer also. So these two libraries we will be needing essentially to do this or to show this demonstration. Okay. So I have already installed both the things. It is in my system, so I am not installing it again. Okay. Now let's see a piece of code. Okay, a simple piece of code. Let's understand. So if you like here, I will be opening youtube.com. Okay, and I will be searching I will be searching blockchain. So I want to see all the tutorials related to blockchain, and I will be just like click the search button. So if I open my Chrome, I will explain the like each line of this code. Okay, let me open youtube.com. Okay, so the YouTube is open. Now what we need to do is, see, we need these two, like these two controls. One is this text box where we will type, and another is this button. So this button will actually do the searching. Okay. So to access this control, what we need to see is we need to inspect this element. So we need to see the HTML ID or the name of this element. Okay. So we need to inspect this page basically. Okay. So once we inspect this element, so it shows me this control in the inspect panel. If you see here in the right hand side, our inspect panel has opened, and here you can see the ID of this ID and all the details of this control, specific control. So here I have used a text box. Okay, so this is the text box. So if you see the input tag is there, so which specifically says that it is a text box. Okay, and there are certain other things like ID search. So the search is its ID, then the name, or the like the tag is there. Okay, and other things also there like class name or something is there. Okay, so all the HTML components are visible here. Okay, So now I can take either ID or I can take the name to search this or to access this control. Okay, so I need to search the blockchain. So that means I need to access this control first, and I need to type blockchain here, and then I need to click the search button. Okay, so for this purpose, I need to access this control first. So I can access it by either by ID or by name. Now, often it may happen that you really need to inspect this web page, that if that parameter which you are you are considering, whether it is a unique parameter, because sometimes what happens is maybe this search id will be there for the other other controls also. So actually bot cannot, or the Selenium library code or the web driver cannot access exactly this control. Okay, so it will have that ambiguity. So we need to see a little bit the whole page, and we need to see that what can be my unique parameter over here to control this, to access this control. Okay, so here I have taken search query, so I have taken the name parameter. Okay, and for the click button, again I will go here. Okay, and I will do a inspect element. So it will give me for the button as well. So here is my button. As you can see, the button tag is there. Okay, and the class is there, ID is there. So I will take ID for this. Okay, so I am taking ID for this, and I am taking the name parameter for this. Okay, so now let's go back to the code. Now, if you go back to the code is very simple. So these are some of the libraries I have imported from Selenium. So one is a web driver. This is actually the most important library what I am importing from Selenium, and some other libraries are there. Okay, so first, what I am doing is I am opening the Chrome. So this piece of code, this line of code actually opens the Chrome. So here you can give the path also, but since I am using already this library, so for that, explicitly I don't have to give the path. I can just write this line of code, and it will just open my Chrome browser. Okay, so it will launch the Chrome browser. Okay, and this line, as the name suggests, it is maximizing the window. Okay, now then it is a very simple line of code. I am just getting this URL. So here, in case I am opening youtube.com, so I am getting this URL. Then I am putting some sleep. So actually this is not required, but generally, the web loading time is handled by the script. But still, because it is very fast and we cannot understand only what happened. So I am giving some wait parameter, like some wait into the to the execution. Like it will wait, the code will wait for some time, like 10 seconds, and then it will go to the next line of code. Okay, so as I said, here again I am just finding the element by dot name. So if you type here, you can see various things over here. So if you see class name, CSS selector, ID, link test, name, tag name, XPath, so anything by anything you can search what you think is a unique parameter for that HTML control. Okay, here I have taken name, as I already said. So by name, I am putting the name value, that is search query. Okay, so the name ID, and I am sending the send keys. Like this is a function to send anything, like type anything on that text box. So I am using this method, and I am searching blockchain. Okay, again I am giving a 2 minutes wait. So I just want the code to wait for 2 seconds. Sorry, not 2 minutes, 2 seconds. And then I am going to the button. So I am accessing my button, and here this time I'm giving the ID. So by what I am searching by ID, and this is my ID of the button that I have taken from the website. And then I am doing a button click, and then I am again waiting for 10 seconds just to see like what is happening. So if I run this piece of code, let me run this code. The Chrome browser is launched, and we have youtube.com as well. So I am searching blockchain. Okay, then it is clicking the search button. Okay, so it is giving me all the tutorials related to blockchain. So this is very simple. So you can do this actually, and automatically the browser gets killed after 10 seconds. Okay, so we don't have to explicitly close that. So that is how it is happening. Okay, but even if the browser is not getting closed, there is a function called wd or webdriver.quit. So you can use that function to just quit the browser when the work is done. Okay, so for the timing, I am hashing it, because commenting it, because I don't need this, because anyhow I am not using this code snippet inside a function. So it will automatically close the browser. Okay. So it is a very simple code. And as you can see, like it is like the only like, like 4 or 5 lines of code, which is, like I'm doing to automate a YouTube search. Okay. So this is very essential or very, like helpful to doing any kind of web automation. Now we will see some other examples also. Let me go to this code. Okay, so if you see this, this is actually a address verification site of US. So I will first open this site to see what is there in this site. I am closing this. Okay, so if you see this site, we are sending like, like input, giving the input address as an input. So we are giving street address, city, state, then zip code, and then we are finding that whether this address is valid or not. So it is basically US address verification site. Okay, so here we will, like do the entire automation, like just, like the bot will do automatically, or the code will automatically execute, and it will put the address, street address, city, and the state, and the zip code, and it will also click the find button. Okay, so this is again a simple, very simple coding. So what we need to do is, again, we are, like accessing these controls by doing a inspect. Okay. Okay, so see here, it is giving me, yes. So this is a input and this is a ID T address. Okay, so here again we have accessed it, or access this control with the ID. You can access it with the name also, because both the things are given. Okay, so I have accessed it with the ID. So likewise, you can get all the IDs of the necessary text boxes and the button controls what you need to just handle over here. Okay, so I will close this. I will run the code. So if you see, the code is pretty simple. The same thing, the same libraries I have imported, and the same way I am, like installing the Chrome, launching the Chrome installer, or sorry, Chrome browser, and I am maximizing the window. Then I am getting this website. Then I am waiting for some time. I'm telling the code to wait for 5 seconds. Then I am accessing this control street text box, and I am putting a, arbitrary address over here. Okay, so I am putting an address, I am putting city, I am putting state, and then I am putting zip code, and I am seeing, like clicking the button whether the address is valid. And then again, I am waiting for 10 seconds. So the code is very simple, as I have shown in the YouTube demo also. So the same coding, only we have, instead of one text box, we have 4 to 5 text boxes for our data entry. Okay, so let me run this code. So after every input, I have given 2 seconds delay. So to understand that whether the code is actually, giving the input in the text boxes. Otherwise, it will just run in the glimpse of a second only, fraction of second. Okay, so here I have my address. It is validated. Okay, so you can see that it has clicked the find button and the address is validated. Okay, so this is how it is, very simple. So it can be, like used on any kinds of website, and like no matter what is the complexity of your project, or what scale of web automation you are doing, you can, or what like level of web scrapping also we are doing. This library is very helpful to do web scrapping, and also the like data entry. So these are the two examples. Some other examples I have which I want to show. Okay, so let me open this. So another important, this is also a very a problem statement actually for us, which we get often, where we have the website where multiple iframes and nested iframes are there. So if you use any RPA tool, like I have some experience with UiPath Automation Anywhere, and we have seen that actually the bot has failed in, like accessing the iframes and nested iframes. So I have found out a website where there is a use of some iframe. So if I open this website, it is actually a W3 spool website where they are demonstrating iframe. So they have to incorporate iframe for that in the site as well. Okay, first I will close this. Okay, so see, this is actually, they are demonstrating the iframe, like how iframe works. So likewise, there are many legacy systems where we have this problem, like where we get multiple iframes, like there are nested, the problem of nested iframe, like one iframe will be inside another iframe. And that time, accessing by ID or accessing by XPath or accessing by name, won't work because it won't be able to, even Selenium won't be able to access the controls inside the iframe. Okay. But even like even other tools like like RPA tools, they also like fail in like where there is a complex iframe problems. Okay, now if you see this inspect these elements, you will see there are iframes. Okay, let me just inspect this element. Okay, now if you see this is a div, this is not a iframe. Here you can see there is a iframe. Okay, so this is a iframe. Okay, if I go inside this, again you can see another iframe. Okay, so there is a iframe inside an iframe. Okay, and this iframe is inside the main page. Okay, so there is a problem of nested iframe. So here you can see actually the structure of your HTML code. Okay, many a times happen that we try to access the controls by ID or by CSS class or by name, but we cannot find the control and it gives an error. That time we need to see the structure, like how it is structured in the HTML. So if the iframe is there basically, then you won't be able to access in a simple way. So Selenium actually makes it easy. We can use a simple line of code, only one line of code to switch inside the iframe, and then we can access this code. Okay, so let me just show you the code. But actually it becomes very very complex in any, like if you use any RPA tool. Okay, so here see, only see we have to use this line of code. So when we have to switch inside the iframe, so no matter how many iframes are there, if you see, I am just enabling this code, it is commented out. Okay, if you see, I can put frame reference. So I can either put the frame ID or the frame number. Okay, so here I have put the frame number. So I am going inside the first frame and I am trying to get this header. So if you see, this is, I think this is H1, but let me see what is the element here. Okay, so this is H2. So I am trying to get this header. And again, it is inside a iframe. Okay. So if I normally try to get this header, I won't be able to get because it is inside a iframe. So let me just run this code without this line. So I am not switching. Before switching, I am running this code just to see like what happens, whether it can access the header H2. Sorry, I forgot to save the file. I've been closing this because I forgot to save the file. Okay, if you see that no result has come because I am trying to print this text. Okay, but since it has, like even a error, it couldn't access this control H2. Okay, because it is inside a iframe. Okay, so with this one line of code enabled, I can actually go inside the iframe and I can access this tag. Okay, so you can see this text has come, remove the iframe border. So this time actually it has, I don't know whether this is visible. Just let me know, anybody, if you can. So if you see, I have printed this text. So this is my text actually, remove the iframe border. Okay, so this time it has printed this text. So this time my control is accessible. Okay, so with Selenium, it is very easy to, like switch to and fro inside the iframe and outside the iframe. So in this way, we can, like solve this very complex problem, because actually it takes lots of time when we do not understand that why the bot cannot access this control. Even with the RPA tool, it is a problem. Okay, so this is very easy with Selenium. Okay, then another example I have is, and I think this is also a very a great example where we can do some multi-threading. Okay, so Python actually supports multi-threading techniques. And here actually I have created two threads. So if you see, I have created two threads. So here T1 and T2. So these are basically two, like the objects of the thread class. So I have created two threads and I have started these two threads. So what these threads are essentially doing, these threads are essentially validating address. So already I have this line of code and I have shown this demonstration. Like I am going to this site and I am validating the address, right? So here again, I am validating the address, but I am launching two browsers, okay? So in one browser, I am validating this address, 11610 Memorial PKWY South. And in another browser, I am validating another address. Okay, so this is a different address. Okay, so but both the browsers will be open simultaneously because I am using multi-threading here. Okay, and you can do like the bot can execute, like the both the like browsers multiple times. Like it can process both the browser at the same time, multiple browsers at the same time. So this is also a very essential thing where we need to, like there are some time it happens that we need to go to a website, we need to extract data, and then we have to take the data and insert in another legacy application. So those times, this is very useful where you can, like run two browsers at the same time. Okay. And here actually I am opening the same browser, same site basically in two different browsers. So let me just run this code. It is very like it is a very essential, like an important feature of Python plus Selenium. So it can be leveraged in a great way actually, depending on the use cases. So if you see already the two browsers are open. Okay, so two browsers are open already as you can see. Okay, and both the browsers are actually, like doing the address verification, but different addresses. See, this is a different address and this is different address. Let me go to the other browser. Okay, both the addresses are validated. So if you see, this is one browser and this is another browser. Okay, let me run this code again, closing all the Chrome browsers. Then I think we will have a good understanding. Okay, so now I have closed all the Chrome browsers and I am running this code again. So if you see, the two browsers are open, okay, simultaneously. Okay, and this is actually a very, like a very important technique which can be leveraged in a great way. Like if your use case is such that you need to do some multi-processing, then you can use this technique. Because no RPA tool gives you this facility, like to do, like to execute, like launching both the browsers at the same time. Okay, so here I can see that both the addresses are validated. Okay, so this is one thing. And another thing is that one small example is there. Okay, where we do some, where we have taken some headless mode. Okay, so though the browser will open, you will do the work also, but you won't be able to see it in the, like the see that in the system that the browser has actually opened, and you are, like doing some data entry work. This is very useful when, like when we have the client sensitive data and we don't want to expose the data to the outside world. Okay, so there we can use headless Selenium mode where we can do just in the backend. But at the same time, if any error occurs or anything occurs, you can take a screen capture. So if you see, I have taken a screen capture in this path, and already I think our image file will be there in this path. So I will go and delete this image file. So in front of you, I am deleting because I want to see that whether it is generated again. Okay. And the same YouTube code I have used, but this time I'm searching analytics Vidhya, and I am taking a capture of that image, capture of that site, because I cannot see the browser opening. So it is actually running in the backend. Kind of it is running in the backend. It is running in the headless mode. Okay, so only thing is that we are doing the headless equal to true. So we are putting that option for the Chrome driver. So if I run this code again, it is a very like it is a very important technique, or like very essential. Like when you have the client sensitive data, it will be helpful. Okay, so here actually I am not understanding whether at all the browser has opened, because browser has opened and worked even. I am not understanding that whether it has worked. Okay, so if you see that I have printed also the driver.title, that means the website title basically. So this has given me the print, like analytics with the YouTube. And let me see whether any image has been generated. Okay, so there is an image. Let me open this. See. So you didn't understand even that the browser has opened and worked and everything is done, completed. But it has done, like it has been done in the backend. And if any error occurs, you can take the image as well. You can capture the image. So this is another essential, like a feature of Selenium, which you can, like incorporate depending on your use case. Okay, just 2 more minutes I will take. So similarly, we can, like access Selenium through a VBA code also. So VBA is very, like mostly used, widely used in, like any automation. So inside the VBA code also, you can do web scrapping or web automation using Selenium. Here I have used to, like for that actually, I will go back to the slide a little. So I will just tell two things. That is where you need to, like install the Selenium basic tool for VBA. So this is a site actually where you can go and install this. And Chrome driver is, I will show you how to install the Chrome driver and keep in this path. So you have to like download the Chrome driver based on your version, and you have to just, like save that in this path. Okay, so let me just go to the code. First, I will run the code to show you how it is working. Okay, so once you install the Selenium basic here, you can actually, like refer that, going to tools, reference, and here the library will show. So I have selected the Selenium type library. Okay, so this is already selected over here. Now here what I am doing, I am going to Amazon and I am searching for cameras. Okay, and I am searching for cameras, and whatever camera I am getting over there, I am just downloading it or scrapping the data, the name of the camera and the website of the camera, the link of the camera, and I am incorporating in this page. Okay, so a little bit I have elevated it so that way I can see the site. Okay, so here you can see that this camera sheet I have prepared. Okay, and there are already some data. So what I will do is I will delete all this data to see how the code is working. Okay, so now I don't have any data and I'm saving the file and keeping like this. Okay, now I am just running this basic coding, and again it is the same coding as I have shown you Python. We are finding the element by ID. So here I have just put the search text box and the button click and whatever like the cameras I am getting. So I have actually taken all the 8 tags. So 8 tags is giving me the link of the camera. Okay, so I have taken all the 8 tag and I have incorporated the link in my Excel. Okay, so if I run this code, so it will actually automatically close the browser. Okay, now let me go to the page and you can see all the camera names and the link has been incorporated. So this is also again another essential, like way of, like doing the web scrapping for the VBA itself from the VBA code. And here you are using the basic Selenium library. Okay, and another way of doing the web scrapping from VBA is using the query table. So I have shown both the ways. So there are actually multiple ways. I can download the HTML and read that HTML in parse and take the data also. So here I have used a query table. So this is a site where it is giving me country plus capital. So I will just run this code and it is populating in this sheet 1. So I will delete all this data. Okay, so now my Excel is clean. Okay, now I will just run this piece of code. I think it is very fast actually. I think it will be done. See. So all the country and the capital is populated. So again, it's a very like good technique, like to scrap any website. So I have actually scrapped this website and I have taken the country and capital. So all the countries and capitals have been populated. So this is the session, mostly the session. I will take the Q&A only now. Just one thing I want to share with you guys, like if you face any problem with the Chrome driver, just open your Chrome here and see the version. So mostly with the Chrome auto installer, you won't face any problem. But if you are accessing the Chrome driver from your VBA code, and if any problem is there, just open the Chrome driver. I will go here, see the settings. Okay, so I will go here and see the version of the Chrome. So it is actually about. So here you can see the version of the Chrome. Okay, so this is 107.0. So I will go to the website and I will search Chrome driver download. Okay, so you can do this for the other drivers as well. So this is my 107.0. I will download this. So you will get a exe file, which you essentially need to keep inside the Selenium basic, like where your Selenium basic is installed for VBA. So you have to take that exe and you have to keep it here. So this is a path, like in your user folder, there will be app data local and the Selenium basic where it will be installed. So you need to just store this file there. Then everything will be fine. So most of the times the version problem only happens, but other than that, it's run smoothly. Yes. So I am done with this session. Any questions? Okay. What is the difference between automation and RPA? Okay. So automation actually basically it can be anything. So process automation when we talk about suppose like when you are building the website also you are like fetching the data from the database, you are taking the data entry from the users. So all these things you're automating. Even you're automating like the file creation, you are writing like opening a file, you are creating a file, you are writing something in the file, then you are closing the file. So that is kind of automation. But RPA stands for only for those tasks which are high in volume, which are repetitive, and which are like mundane process. Like it's kind of a boring work. Like day to day, you are doing the same thing, right? Suppose, for example, you are opening your laptop, and first thing you need to do is you need to read the emails from the clients. So based on the emails, then you need to take certain actions, and those actions are already predefined. You know where I have to go. I have to go to this site. I have to do some entry. Then I have to generate the report. Then that report I have to mail it again to the client. So this set of tasks is like very much repetitive, and you are doing it for high volume of data, maybe 3,000, 4,000 transactions you are dealing every day. So there comes actually the RPA, like the robotics process automation. Okay, so this is clear. So this is the difference. Then how RPA is different from web automation like Selenium. Okay, RPA, if you take RPA is a superset. So RPA is not only about web automation, but it actually handles lots of many other automation. It can be file automation, it can be a dashboard automation, it can be desktop automation, even it can be Excel automation, email automation. So lots of automations, like clubbed together in a single process called RPA, where bots are actually, like mimicking the human action. Web automation, if you talk, it is a subset of RPA. So it is one of the feature of RPA, but it is not everything about RPA. But yes, it is a most complex thing, as I already said, because lots of the problem you faced in web automation only, because sometimes the web loading factors are taken into account, and where you need to, really, like handle those website very critically. So bots often fail in web automation. So that is why web automation is very important for RPA. Okay. Is RPA not possible beside website automation? Yes, it is possible depending on your requirement. If your requirement does not actually have any website interaction, then you don't need website automation. But if your requirement is that you have to interact or handshake with different legacy websites, then this website automation is required. This is the parts and parcel of the process. So you cannot eliminate and go with the RPA. Okay, so if you are giving an end-to-end automation to your client, then and website is like interaction with the website or any legacy site is a part of the process, then website automation becomes important in that. But if your process doesn't require website automation, then you can eliminate that. It is not required. So it is depending on the process. Okay, the manual process what you are dealing with. Okay. Have you used Raspberry Pi for the creation of any RPA offering? No, I haven't used Raspberry Pi, but I would like to know or learn about it. So maybe if anybody is interested, can give a session on that. Maybe I can, attend that. Okay. So I am little bit late. If you can give quick recap. So okay, so here we talked about, I don't know like from where you have missed. Here we mostly talked about the web automation, how we can do web scrapping and web automation using Python Selenium VBA code, like fully script based automation without using any license. Okay, so those things we have seen, and we have seen some hands-on coding where we have seen some examples like where we can go to the actual websites and do some interaction with the websites. Okay. If you have input data for 10 addresses in Excel, it is possible. Yes, you can open the Excel. That is also possible in Python. There are several libraries. You can use OpenPy Excel. You can loop through the data. You can read the addresses and you can put the website. And the same loop you have to run again and again, putting all the addresses. So this is the one of the actually use case we have also dealt with, and this is very much possible. You can do it. You can try it out with the same code. Only thing is that you have to put the code inside a for loop. Okay. Does Selenium handle simple web automation? Example like Selenium handle both simple and complex web automation, where you don't need any human intervention. So there are some websites where if you log in, it needs two-way or multi-factor authentication, where the OTP comes to your phone and you need to give the OTP, right? So in those, processes, you cannot, actually you cannot handle with any kind of library, not only with Selenium, but not with any other library you cannot handle, because there some kind of human intervention is required. But yes, like other than that, where no intervention is required, Selenium can work perfectly, it can work great. And you have seen like some of the features are there, which are actually missing in, like most of the, market leaders of the RPA. So yeah, that is wonderful actually using Selenium. Okay. Can web automation can be implemented without the need to open web browser to avoid system overhead? So this we have already shown. We can go headless, where actually the website is open and the work is done, but we cannot see the website. It is open, like the browser launched, we cannot see, but anyhow we, if the error occurs or anything happens, we can take the screen capture. So that is very much possible. Okay. Then what if we fetch something but put the same in other thread? Can we please share some example? Yes. So suppose you are fetching some data. But right now I cannot remember the example, but I can take a customer invoice. So suppose from a website you are taking the customer IDs. Okay, so you have several IDs. So you are taking the list of customer IDs. So you are taking the list and you are saving it in the file, and you have opened the other thread as well. So that thread will just hold on for maybe fraction of seconds, say 2 to 3 seconds, till the file is created with all the customer IDs, and then you can put a for loop on that file, and like with each with each ID you can search in the second site, like anything like the invoice record or any other information. So this is very much possible. You can do that. Only thing is that you need to handle little bit with the time, or you can put a while loop that while this file is created, you can wait till that time. It will just launch the site and open and keep, and then as soon as the file is created, it will open the file and read the data, and accordingly it will give the input as a customer ID to the website. So that is how it can work. Okay. Assuming you want or bypass automated authentication, can I use Selenium to refer to an open browser and respective session to automate tasks from an already open browser and session? Assuming you want to pass automated authentication, can I use Selenium to refer to an open browser? Selenium, I don't think you can refer to or you can access to open browser. Selenium, like you have to open the browser freshly from the code itself. If already a browser is open, I don't think you can access that browser with Selenium. But this thing I need to check. I am not sure about this, but this is a good question actually. I can check on this. But as far as my experience, you cannot access already open browser. Okay, web scrapping is a part of web optimization. Is a part of web optimization. Is this a question? Like I didn't understand this question. So I will go forward with the other question. Do you have your YouTube channel where you have shared some tutorial videos? No, I don't have, but I am releasing my first book on this. So maybe it will be released within a couple of days. So then I can share the link with Analytics Vidhya as well. What is the importance of path for your Chrome driver? Is it depends on any specific language? No, it is not required actually if you're using Python, because we have the auto installer. So with auto installer, you don't require to give the explicit path of the Chrome driver. But for the Excel VBA code, you need to give the path. And there also actually you don't need to give the path. You just need to put the driver in the required, like folder, the Selenium folder. Then it will work accordingly. How to integrate the Python Selenium with JavaScript? For JavaScript, Selenium has a different library. So you can integrate Selenium with JavaScript as well, yeah, and even with Python. So Selenium has the, compatibility with JavaScript as well as Python. How can we manage load balancing and workload management? Okay, this is a very important question. So in RPA server, we have seen that most of the times we have a feature called queue management or workload management. So these can be very well, handled in a tricky way, that you can maintain a database system where you can handle your workload accordingly from the database itself. So the number of transactions which we are fetching and working, you can tag those transactions in the database accordingly, so that every time the bot runs or the parallel bot running, they can execute on some other transaction, not on the tagged ones. Okay, so in this way, queue management or workload management can be handled. How can Selenium be used in chatbot with artificial intelligence? Okay, Selenium is actually a browser-based, tool. So you can do anything. It is actually very much popular as a testing tool. So you can do anything on the browsers with Selenium. It is an automation testing tool as well. So lots of testing is done with Selenium. And also web automation can be done with Selenium. So any site or GitHub with code examples will be available. I have the GitHub site, but I haven't put this code, but I can push this codes to the GitHub so that everyone can be facilitated. Yeah. So any other questions? I think this is all.